essential human needs, then you'd be paying 30, 40 bucks for a dozen eggs. Literally. That's how badly that we've degenerated in this country. With the mainstream media telling you, everybody pushing it, real estate agents and lenders and everybody, the property managers and landlords and uh, anybody that's vested in real estate, housing particularly, okay, then they've been pushing this thing, telling you, well, it's good that housing prices are rising. That means equity. That's the value. It's better value. So could you imagine them pushing that about eggs? Hey, it's fantastic. The price for a dozen eggs went up $5. The value of your eggs went up. Maybe you can loan them out and get some collateral, get some equity. Go buy a new car on your. You bought a whole case of. Wow, you scored. What a great investment, man! You bought a case of eggs at the low price and you sold them at the. Wow, way to go. We're in trouble. I'm just telling you, and it's because of these evil men. Now, this is something we can change. That if we are cowards or we just go along with the program because in the back of our sick and twisted heads, we think we're going to inherit it someday, what are you going to get, man? You're going to have to answer for these things. Have you lived your life according to the golden rule? You'll have to answer for that. If, for example, if you're a landlord, have you been treating your tenants exactly the way you would treat your own children? Who are you? What makes you think God's not just like you? And he's going to play favorites and say, well, there's enough room here for, me and my kids, but sorry. You understand? You've got no right to expect that. God's going to be better than you. So try to be your best, my friends. I mean, this is why I say being an egalitarian is the only way to fly. I mean, it just settles everything right there. Racism goes away, everything. I believe in equality. I believe that when God gets his way, he's going to say, well, obviously, logically, this planet is something I created and everything on it. And all you creatures are my property. Everything is my property because I created all of you creatures. Okay? And I want you to share it. That's what he would tell his children, human beings. Okay? You understand it would nullify any need for money. When it's established from birth, you don't have a cost of living. The world's been handed to you on a silver platter by none less than your owner, the Creator God Almighty. So there is a level playing field, and this is the only way we can have a level playing field. There cannot be any form of money. End of story. That's it. No way for any man to get an advantage of you, over you. And there's not going to be anybody there that wants to get advantage over you because their hearts are impure. They're going to that other place. They're in the wrong line, and I'm their best friend trying to tell them to jump ship. Okay? Jump off the ship of fools. That's obviously careening to destruction. The ways of the world, the way the worldly, secular, pagan world thinks, and the way God thinks are diametrically opposed. At least see that, man. Please, start writing some stuff. Categorize the stuff that bugs you that we the people can change if we unite and demand it with unstoppable, unrelenting determination coming against those in power in the Congress, in the Senate, in the executive branch, at the Federal Reserve level. And all those people in the shadows that are hiding, the ones that the grand puppeteers are really pulling the strings, creating the policies we're all forced to live under from birth, they're going to have to uncloak too. That's this whole UFO thing coming out. Well, who's really in charge? Who made the Georgia Guidestones? Well, do you ever hear the mainstream media? Inquiring minds want to know. You want to do an expose, Dateline, or 60 Minutes, or 2020? Some interesting story on CBS Sunday morning? Let's find out who these anonymous makers, the builders of the Georgia Guidestones are that want to get the earth, that want to get rid of 15 out of 16 people. And I'm having to hear from the president that because I'm unvaccinated, I'm killing people. I'm a murderer now. This is sick and twisted. And I thought bullying and peer pressure were frowned upon. What the hell is going on in my beloved nation? Do I have any reason to not be incensed? Do you? And take it where it belongs. Write letters, demand justice. Even if your life is perfect, do it for the downtrodden. Do it for Jesus Christ. Do it for your own salvation. To say, man, I saw the evil from the good. And I said, oh my God, so many people think they got it going on. They go to church they pray and they read their Bible, and they're on the highway to hell, and they're completely oblivious to that fact because their hearts are impure. They haven't confessed their sin. You see, if you don't confess your sin, there's nothing to be forgiven for. If you're a money lover and you confess it, at least you can be forgiven and say, your will, Father, not mine. If you want me to live in a world without any form of money, that's what I want. No equivocation about it. End of story. And get my heart and mind ready for that day, that world of tomorrow. I want to be there. I want to be there when we're truly free, when we're truly secure, all the way out of fear, when we're living together in peace and harmony and safety, security, freedom and prosperity for not some of the people, not some of the inhabitants on that place, on this planet, but all of them. And all those other people that love their lives in this world that were filthy, they're going to another place. They made their own decision. That was their choice. They bought their own ticket to hell because they couldn't relinquish their love for the things of this world, the temporal, ephemeral things of this world. And that's how they bought their ticket to another realm where they're not going to have anybody there left to bully anymore. No righteous people. No docile, passive people. It's sick, my friends. We're in a lot of trouble. And only God can help us. And if you start seeing improvements, it's because the finger of God, the hand of God is starting to work and saying, hey, I'm coming through. I'm pushing my way in here. My will's going to be done on this planet. End of story. It'd be an unreadable book. It'd be an unwatchable movie. I mean, where's it going? How far are we going to descend into Hades? Well, the elitists, I mean, you know, they're up at their ivory towers and crap, pulling strings and crap. But they've gotten about as far as they can. They know that. Why do you think they're giving people money, sending out checks? They know, man, things aren't looking good for them. The S is going to hit the fan, okay? They've run the race, and they've lost, and they know it. They knew it all along, but they ran it anyhow because it was profitable in the meantime. And they're still on top of the game now. And they've got momentum. So this thing's got legs, this evil thing, this wealth imbalance that has kept growing, the poverty, the third world status we've been entering. Now, we're going to build them tiny houses or give them campgrounds and all this crap. They talk for how many decades? No, it's incentive. If your tenant is fire under your butt, you better pay that ever higher rent. That's you with those soiled clothes climbing under that bridge, with your tail between your legs, losing your will to live or blowing your brains out. That's you. You better. You better. But the mainstream media is going to tell you, oh, it's good. Housing prices are going up. And there's a direct correlation. They know that between the cost people pay to buy a house and the cost of rentals. We're in trouble because people are living outside the bounds of the golden rule. They've been taught that's the way to fly, man. That's the way to success. You think we're not in trouble? Got news for you, my friends. We are. Only God can help us now. Well, friends, I hate to do it, but it looks like today I might end up putting on another tape. And I've just been too long-winded, and I had a lot of stuff I want to talk about. But listen, remember this, that God is not a distant God, that he lives in you. He's living vicariously through you, through this thing that's called the Spirit of Truth. It's called many things. Call it anything good. But that's our connection, our direct link. It's like an umbilical cord to the one that knows, loves, and understands you more than anybody else, okay? Infinitely more than any other human. And beyond that can save your life, okay? That can give your soul the refreshment it wants. So if you're a believer and you already pray and you say, I want my heart pure, you'll get those things. Whenever you ask for really, truly, eternally good things, you'll get them. That's it. That's the nature of your Father. He's all good. There's no way we can imagine how good God is. We're just human beings, okay? But he's far better than we can ever imagine, and we ought to spend plenty of time dwelling upon that, ruminating on that, and self-improving and saying, I want to grow. I want to be a better human being. I want to be pure of heart. I want to please my owner, my parents, my divine parents, who have this vast power and are so good. responsible for only all the good things I've ever experienced in life and ever will, but not responsible for anything bad that I've ever experienced. Not just me, but all through history. It wasn't God's will that we had to experience anything bad. So good things eventually will come to the righteous. And there's going to be a generation upon this earth living and alive at the time of the return, the second coming of Jesus Christ. As far out, bizarre as that sounds,